my husband, Michael, and I met under some very funny circumstances. My best friend from the time I was like 12 decided we are going to Europe for a couple of months backpacking before we head off to our adult lives. Back in the day, I don't know if they still have this, you bought a Eurorail pass for a few $100s, which meant that you could travel to any city right across Europe whenever you wanted to. You just hopped on the train and showed them your pass. We started off in London, and what did I do? I promptly fell in love with a Dutch boy in Amsterdam. And that's a whole other story. I mean, I literally called my mother from Greece and said, "Ma, hi. So I'm not coming home so soon." There I was, happily living in Amsterdam with my man, when I get a call from Linda, that's the best friend, and she says, "I just met my husband in a bar." I said, "Linda, settle down, sister. You're 23 years old. You did not just meet your husband in a bar." So then Linda says, "Oh, yes, I did. And you know what? I met yours too. It's his best friend." And I was like, oh. Now, what if she's right? Like, what if this is my soulmate? And now I have to go all the way back to Toronto to go on a blind date at 23 years old with someone I really don't think is going to be my future husband. But I mean, I had to check, right? So I promptly flew all the way back from Amsterdam. I don't know what kind of excuse I gave that I had to go on a date with Michael. And we went for Italian. And I think that whole night we sat there staring at our spaghetti, trying to make awkward conversation, and both of us absolutely certain beyond a doubt that this was not a match. Anywho, what we decided at that point, seeing as our best friends really were in love and really actually were going to get married, was to agree to be friends and go our merry ways. So I went back to Amsterdam and he went back to his life. So then for the next 15 years, Michael became Kramer on the couch. I mean, every time I flew in to see Linda and now Richie, there was Michael. He got to know all my boyfriends. I got to know all his girlfriends. And every couple of years, Linda and Richie would force us to go on a weekend. And every couple of years, we came back saying, nope. Linda would be like, "You guys are meant for each other. You're crazy." Throughout these 15 years, we were also in the same industry. I was a clothing designer and he was a manufacturer. So when I was 34 years old, he calls me. His designer just quit. Would I relocate to Toronto immediately? And I said yes. I was in a wah-wah relationship. My work was up to my head because I had my own line and I was doing everything myself. And I really just wanted a paycheck and a breather. So I got in the car and drove down the 401 and started working for him. And you know what? We fell in love and were married within a year. I mean, we were both looking for different things by the time we were 35. We were a bit more cooked. I mean, what I wanted at 23 was not what one should build the foundation for a healthy and sustaining marriage on. I fell in love with Michael's character. I fell in love with how he treated people. I fell in love with his brain. I fell in love with his posterior. Don't get me wrong, Michael is a cutie patootie and always has been. But when I was 23, I wanted Rico Suave I could dance with. Rhythm isn't Michael's strong suit. And it was reciprocal. The girl that he remembered dancing on the bars at 23 was now focused on her work. And when I happened to eat my sandwich at lunch, the lipstick didn't go back on. I thought I'd share because it's wedding season. And I know there might be a lot of young people out there full of anxiety because they haven't found their match yet. And I tell you, you will find your match when the time is right. And also, if you don't build a strong foundation, the building's gonna fall down. Mind you, maybe I have no idea what I'm talking about. Linda and Richie are still married.